Assalamualaikum to Madam Maizatul. So today our group is going to present on our project, which is the checklist. Our group members are Fatin Amira binti Muhammad Arifin, Nur Alia Yasmin binti Muhammad Shamshir, and Nur Atika binti Nur Rashid. Our checklist is for 6 years old, and without further ado, let's get started.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatin Amira binti Muhammad Arifin. I'll be explaining for self-awareness and self-management. Self-awareness is an ability to recognize own thoughts and feelings that influence the behavior of oneself. When we are self-aware, we can accurately and confidently identify the things we are good at and the things we need to work on. As for self-management, it is an ability to control our feelings, thoughts, and behavior in different situations. It's our ability to use appropriate coping skills when we are under pressure and stressed out. Next, let's talk about the criteria. Number 1, child able to notice difference between self and others. In this part, we want to see the child ability to have a sense of self-identity and what makes them different or special from their peers. This can be in terms of personality, behavior, and so much more. Next, number 2, child able to stop and think before acting. This is where we want to see the ability of the child to make decisions by taking a moment and use their thinking skills. This is where we can see the child could learn from making their own decision by seeing if the decision they are making is good or bad. For number 3, child begin to understand what it means to be embarrassed. At the age of 6 years old, it is normal for the child to be embarrassed as they are trying to fit in with others, and also this is to indicate that the child is self-aware and they are care about how they are seen in other people's eyes. Number 4, child able to use words to describe feelings. This is to see the understanding of the child about their own feelings and their ability to convey their feelings towards people around them using words. It could be peers, teachers, and parents. Lastly, number 5, child able to wait for their turn. This is to see how the child manage their feelings in situations where they need to be patient, and also where the child will develop the skills to help them learn about waiting and being considerate to other people. That's all. Thank you.
My name is Nur Alia Yasmin binti Muhammad Shamshir, and I'm going to be explaining about the adaptability part of the checklist. Now, adaptability in general is a major social and emotional trait that every children should have. So I think this checklist would be a useful tool to document the process of it all. Now, the first content of the checklist is child comes to the center willingly or voluntarily. Now, oftentimes children would throw a fit or a tantrum going to school. So this checklist is just to see how well a 6 years old would respond to being handed into the preschool. Moving on to the second content, which is child is comfortable whenever the classroom environment changes. Now, every now and then, a teacher or whoever would change the setting of the classroom. So this is just to see how the child respond to or adapt to the physical changes of an environment. So the third content is child don't mind when there is a sudden change of activity. Now, this means when a certain activity is suddenly being changed or a process has become more advanced. This is to see how the children would respond to the change and how comfortable they are in doing the sudden change of activity. The fourth content is child is able to feel secure when being put in a different group of friends. Usually, children in preschool or this age in general would have a group of friends or a clique that they are really comfortable with. So every now and then, a teacher should put them in a different group of friends to see how they would adapt and be socially involved in that type of situation. Last but not least, number 5, child accepts and enjoys peers of ethnic groups other than his or her own. Like in Malaysia, for example, we have a lot of different races and culture that we see in our everyday life. So with this, a teacher or anyone who is observing the child would see how the child react or respond to different colored skin, for example, or a different language being spoken. So instead of being okay with it, does this child feel uncomfortable in a way? So if a situation occurs, maybe a teacher would do activities that help them to appreciate different cultures. So overall, the adaptability is basically just to see how the child would respond or react to certain situation that maybe they are not comfortable with or being put in. So I think that with these teachers could make activities or tasks that would gain their sense of adaptability to develop in certain situations. That is all for me. I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Atika binti Nur Rashid. So I will explain about empathy part in this checklist. So empathy is defined as the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. In this checklist, we are going to look or to check if the child is able to understand or feels what other person experience. So the first one is able to help other peers to complete the task given by the teacher. So from here, we can see if the child can help their friends to complete the work or not. If their friends is not able to understand how to solve the task given by the teacher, the child can help them to complete it. So the second one is care to share their belongings with other peers. Mostly children in this age are very difficult to share their belongings with other people, including their parents. From here, we will see if the child want to share their things, for example, pencils, blanket for a nap, or even a chocolate if they bought it to the center. So the third one is comfort the parents, the peers if they are sad or crying. Empathy is basically to understand others' feelings. So the third one is very important because in order for the teacher to see what are the level of empathy the child have, they must have the feelings of having a they must have a feelings giving a comfort to their peers or other people surround him, so they can comfort their peers when they are sad or crying. The fourth one is have an awareness to keep their friends happy and be nice to them. The child should have a feelings of keeping up with their friends and have a feeling to make them happy. They should have a sense of humor with their peers and do not have a bad mood feelings all the time. Lastly is help teacher to set up a bed or event at the center. For example, set up the chair for event performance or set up the table for the lunch. So this one is the most important because the child should have the feelings to help the teacher when they are doing something. This is good because not only they have a feelings to help their teacher, but also to help their parents doing work at home. So thank you.